All right, we are so excited to welcome you to the 2023 annual NASC Service Fair. The Service Fair is an event created to showcase local nonprofit organizations so that you can learn more about their missions, their service opportunities, and how you and your council can provide financial support. Each nonprofit will have the opportunity to answer any questions from each of you on call regarding how you can further help their nonprofit and gain a better understanding of their mission. I'd also like to remind you that this Zoom call will be recorded and posted on the NASC YouTube to further connect with those who are unable to attend today, as well as give you all something to refer back to. We highly recommend that you and your council refer back to this video when in need of an organization to use as your CFC or in need of a service project. The emails, websites, and a brief description of all 7 nonprofit organizations that are joining us today are in the handout in the email you should have received from Ms. Ginger with the Zoom link. I will also send it in the chat for easy access. I'd also like to note that this year's service theme is Nevada's Next Gen. Not all of the nonprofit organizations that are here today necessarily fit the service theme. It's just a guideline for you guys. And then we will be doing 3 attendance checks throughout the length of the Zoom. So just make sure that you are on top of those so that you guys are counted for your attendance. And without further ado, first, I'd like to spotlight all of the Southern officers who made it here today. So if Ginger, you want to help me out with that?
Hi, I'm Aileen Ramirez-Braza. I go to Veterans Tribute, and I'm your Division 3A Vice President.
Hi, my name is Jenna Nazar. I am your 2A Vice President, and I go to CSN High School West.
Hi, I'm Malia Buddy. I go to Durango High School, and I'm your NASC State President. Hi, I'm Neely, your 42 Vice President.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and
I think that's Sandra. She has a bad internet connection. She's your 5A VP from Clark.
Hi, I'm Tess Panic, the 41 Vice President, and I go to Green Valley High School.
All right, and that is all of them. And just a reminder for everybody who is just now joining, we want you to change your name to be your first name and your school. And any presenters who just joined, we ask that you raise your hand so we can see you and make sure that you're here. But without further ado, I would like to hand it over to our first nonprofit of the day.
I'm going to interrupt you. We're going to do an attendance check first.
Okay.
So I think we said we were going to do the poll, correct? So I'm going to launch a poll, right? We're doing 3 different kinds of attendance checks during the meeting. So here is the poll. Everyone should see the poll and just go ahead and answer the 2 super simple questions. Look, we have 204 people in here. It's so awesome. That's like one of my biggest. It's so fun. I love it. All right, so we're getting lots of those. We have about 85% done. I won't let it run for more than a minute, but we're only at 35 seconds now. And then we're about 90%. So remember, this is one of the attendance checks. So if you're a student, make sure to fill this out, because this is one of the ways that we're verifying your attendance for the meeting today. And so we're at 92% and it's 1 minute. So I'm going to end the poll. And I'm going to share the results. So just so you can see who we have here. Mostly, looks like mostly juniors and seniors, and we are a pumpkin spice crowd. Although no opinion, I have to see, I'm in the overrated category myself, but that again was just one of our attendance features, and we'll have 2 more during the meeting. So now I'll turn it back to you.
All right. And then I'd like to turn it over to our first nonprofit of the day, Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth. And then you guys just want to make sure you're thinking of questions you have for them, because you guys will have time to ask.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for inviting us and for having us. My name is Kyle Swartz, and I am the Community Engagement Associate here at Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, or NPHY. And so normally I start off this presentation asking everybody to think back to when they were younger, when they were still in high school, but obviously you are all already in high school. And so you are already going through all of the difficulties of high school: social drama, making friends, dealing with grades, worrying about how well you're doing in sports. But think about all of those things that you're already dealing with, but think about the idea that maybe when you go home after school, the door is locked, you can't get in, you can't get in contact with your parents, you don't know what's going on, you don't have a place to stay. Or imagine that your parents are dealing with addiction, and unfortunately they can no longer afford to pay the rent, and the roof over your head goes away and you don't know where you're going to stay after that. Or imagine that you're coming out as LGBTQ to your parents, and instead of accepting you, having love for you, they kick you out and tell you that you need to find your own place. Or just at your own age, just imagine that the idea of being homeless isn't just an idea, but it's actually something that you've already dealt with, that you've experienced already in your life, going in and out of shelters with your family. And so these are some of the realities of the youth that we have and that we see every single day. These are the stories of our clients that come in. And there's a lot of misconceptions about why youth experience homelessness, but we'll go into that in just a second. And so Nevada and Las Vegas specifically ranks consistently in the top 5 for youth that are unaccompanied and unsheltered. So we're one of the worst states, unfortunately, in the entire nation. Title I Hope through CCSD has said that in the last school year that they were able to give us numbers, that over 14,000 students were identified as homeless at some point during the school year. And so a majority of people and youth find themselves homeless suddenly and through no fault of their own. There's a lot of different reasons and factors for this. So it could be family breakdown, running away from abuse and neglect, being kicked out by your family, illness, immigration issues, falling through the cracks of the welfare system, or coming out to your family and not being cared for, unfortunately. And so youth specifically are a bit different as far as homelessness goes compared to adults experiencing homelessness, and are oftentimes called the invisible population. This is because a lot of times they'll shower at public places, stay with friends a bit longer, hoping to be invited in and stay longer than normal. And then also they resort to different survival behaviors, and a lot of them have experienced trauma and are at risk of exploitation. This is a reason why they're hiding their homelessness, not just the social factors, wanting to have friends and dealing with everything that teens are dealing with every single day, but also for these other factors. And a lot of times they're entering into the situation with no control of their own, and they're not able to do anything about it. They do face unique challenges. Youth obviously are different than adults in that they're still growing psychologically, socially, emotionally, lacking work experience, not finished with their education, and vulnerable to criminal victimization. So it makes things very difficult. And for that reason, youth experiencing homelessness are different than adults experiencing homelessness, and therefore they do need a different solution and a different way to face that problem. So as far as our organization, the way that we handle that problem is through a wide range of different programs that are available pretty much every single day, 24/7, depending on the program, to help create productive adults who will be prepared to be successful after they graduate from the program. So just a quick overview, we have outreach, our Safe Place program, our drop-in center, emergency shelter, our Operation Go Home, and then housing. So our outreach program, we have different different events where we go out into the community, providing information and resources to those who are either vulnerable, experiencing homelessness, or at risk of homelessness. And a big part of that is just to get our name out there, to let people know. We know that a lot of times we are working and interacting with youth who are not experiencing homelessness, but it's really important to get our name out there ahead of time so that when people enter into that situation, that they're aware of the resources available to them. As I mentioned before, considering that criminal victimization is something that is, incredibly potential and very terrible, we have to be very careful about, making sure that they know so that they can quickly get enrolled in our programs. After that, we have Safe Place. And so this is available 24/7. And so with Safe Place, we have on every single corner pretty much in Clark County, we have, it's a kind of a diamond shaped yellow sign. And so anywhere that has that, which is any Terrible Herbs gas station, Las Vegas and Henderson Library, Las Vegas Fire Station, or RTC facilities, we have staff on call 24/7 who can be there in 30 minutes or less for youth that are in crisis to help them out. Our drop-in center is located near UNLV, is open every single weekday from 8 to 5. There we have shower facilities, we have a clothing closet, food, hygiene items. All of our case managers there who are all licensed social workers, in-house therapy, we work on safety planning. And so we're able to help out youth and pretty much anybody that comes in there to help them out with the services that we have and refer them to other services. We have an emergency shelter that is open and able to house youth temporarily for 21 days or 3 weeks while we figure out a more permanent housing solution. That may be ours or through other programs, so through referrals. We do have housing. We have a 50-bed housing program throughout Las Vegas and Henderson. This is for youth ages 16 through 24 who are, a little bit more independent. They're able to do a couple things, to really work on themselves. So a lot of times they either have a job or they're in school or both. So they're working on these different important skills for success. So that's living with roommates, that's cleaning up after themselves, cooking for themselves, balancing their budget, all of these things that are really important for their future success. And then finally, we have Operation Go Home, which is family reunification. We know that a good family cannot be replaced, unfortunately. And so if that is an option that is available, we will always go with that. So we are able to, if it is a safe long-term option for youth in our program, to be either sent to family that they previously lived with or family that are willing and able to accept youth that have not lived with them, we will be able to pay for that. And so that is parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, but that's anywhere in North America, including Canada or Mexico, at no cost to our clients. And so as far as different ways that anybody can get involved in our organization, it's really volunteering, advocacy, and donation. And so volunteering, we have a lot of different opportunities, especially through outreach. Every single Friday, we have an event called Feel Good Friday, where we go out into the community distributing hygiene items, sunshine kits, which are our kits that have food and other items in them, clothing, and just letting people know about our resources that are available. We have other opportunities as well, so cooking food in our drop-in center, as well as other organizational things and things related to art and fitness. And then advocacy, which is really just talking about the issue. We know that a lot of times people are unaware of just how big of an issue that youth homelessness is in Southern Nevada and in our community. And so just talking about it, giving people that information and letting them know what is going on is incredibly invaluable to make sure that we are aware of what's going on so that we can point all of our resources and our efforts at the issues that need to be handled. And then, of course, donation, and that is just any sort of monetary or physical donation. Pretty much we always use hygiene supplies, we always use food, we always use clothing. So anybody that knows, if you know anybody that has these items, things that you're not using, we can always find a use for them for the youth in our programs. And I hope I didn't go too far. I would love to open it up for any questions. So I apologize if I didn't leave too much time for that.
Right on schedule. You have 2 minutes for Q&A.
Awesome. And these will be in the chat or no.
Students, you can unmute and ask your question, or you can put it in the chat and the messages go directly to all of the co-presenters. So you won't see it, but they'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Do you see that one there about volunteering?
I do not, but
okay, so for volunteering, do they have to do they have it in in a small town in Pahrump. Oh, so we have some students from Pahrump and they want to know if you
Mhm.
if you work there at all?
So far, all of our outreach efforts have largely been in schools in the Valley. I don't think we've had an event out there in Pahrump, so far, but we definitely have had, if you're able to come out over to our area, to Las Vegas, to help out, we could definitely figure out an event. I'll definitely work on, we have a volunteer coordinator specifically who works on these different events, named Juletta, and I'll let her know, especially if there's some interest in that. I don't know if you can distribute my email address to everybody that was in attendance here, just so that they can reach out about things like that. But we haven't had anything so far, but it's something that we can see about doing in the future. I do see some other questions coming through. So are there places to donate clothing and food? And so that would be our drop-in center, which is 4981 Shirley Street. And so that's right by UNLV. I'll put that in the chat if I'm able to as well, but it's right across from the Thomas and Mack Center and right near the Liberace Mansion. And so we accept donations there every single weekday from 8 to 5 whenever we're open. And we have we have donation receipts and everything for that. As far as how old to volunteer, if it's 18 plus or not, it is not 18 plus, though we do ask anybody younger than 18 does have a parent or guardian that comes with them to the different volunteering events that we have. But we have all of our signups online and all the information for that as well. So if you reach out for that, we'll make sure to get you all of the information for that. Somebody else said, could you please specify the every Friday outreach program days? Where are they being held and what specifically would volunteers be doing? And so with that, it's like I said, it's Feel Good Friday. So that one is specifically on Friday, though we're looking to expand it beyond Friday and into other days of the week, or potentially into 2 different locations on Fridays. We actually do move it around, though we do try and keep it relatively stable in a certain area to build rapport with the community, and also so that youth know that we're going to be there and that they can, if they're relying on the goods and the things that we're bringing, that they know that they can have those. As far as the location goes, we were previously at Whitney Recreation Center, but we have just recently moved it with, not that the weather's really cooled off too much, but to an outdoor location, which is the Siegel Suites on MLK, so just a bit south of 95 and 15 junction right there. So that's where we're currently at, and that's where we're going to be for quite a while.
We are going
somebody
to have
else.
we are going to have to stop you there.
Okay.
But if there are any questions in here that aren't answered, and we've put in your email and the organization, and then all that is on the handout. Kaylin, do you want to maybe put the handout link in there again too for everybody? And then if you want to stay around at the end, if we have extra time at the end, we'll take questions from all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you have a question and you don't want to put it in the chat or for any other reason, feel free to email it to me as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I just sent in the chat the handout, and it has all of the emails and websites for all the organizations here today. So if anybody needs his email or the website, you can access it through there. And the next nonprofit that will be presenting is Special Olympics.
Hi, I actually have a presentation, so I'll go ahead and start that up now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on. My name is Dominique. I'm the Senior Programs Manager with Special Olympics Nevada. So I'm going to go through 2 of our programs here and see if you guys have any questions about getting involved. So we have our schools program. Our schools program goes through Clark County School District, and we bring together students with and without intellectual disabilities on the same playing field and within the same clubs. So we have a big umbrella called Unified Champion Schools. And so when schools participate in unified sports, that's students with and without intellectual disabilities playing on the same team. Inclusive youth leadership, that's our student councils like yourself getting together and working with students with intellectual disabilities, whether that's making signs or creating a unified sports day. And then our whole school engagement piece, that's getting as many students together as possible. Maybe you have some sort of respect week or abilities, awareness day, or week that you're doing at school. So when schools hit all three of these components, we recognize them as a unified champion school. We give them a banner and then a sticker each year after. We do social media announcements. So how do students get involved with this? Students are the drivers of change. So we're always looking for schools and students to become unified champion schools. And then an extension of our Unified Champion Schools program, we have our state Youth Activation Committee. We have a committee of about 14 students that we reach out to for collaboration and idea sharing. And the reason for this is because, again, you guys are the drivers of change. So all of those students receive hours within their schools and communities, and they have an inclusion project that they work on to help their school become a champion school. So some of the inclusion projects that our Youth Activation Committee students have worked on through the years are just having morning announcements for awareness, spread the word inclusion, pledges and days, spread the word inclusion spirit weeks. So lots of different ideas that come from our students that work with us. And then, so you're thinking, how are you going to get involved? As far as our schools program, we're always looking for students for our Youth Activation Committee. Again, you get hours and you get lots of leadership opportunities within our community sports. If you ever wanted to host a unified sports day, always looking for volunteers when we do come out to your school, whether it's unified fitness or some sort of activity, and then just helping your school become a unified champion school. So I added in that QR code there if you are interested in joining the Youth Activation Committee. And then for our community sports, these happen evenings and weekends. So we offer year-round sport opportunities to individuals with intellectual disabilities. We have 7 sports that we offer statewide. We have about 3,000 athletes in 14 areas that we service. And then we have a wide range of ability and age levels that we work with. So athletes can start with Special Olympics at the age of 6 to 7. They can train with us. And then age 8, they can train and compete in any sports that they would like. There are World Games and USA Games opportunities for our athletes to go on to win more medals outside of the medals that they win locally. But also within our our community sports program, we do have unified sports. So we kind of talked about that with our schools program, but we also offer that in our sports program. So that's a unique way to get involved with our sports program. So some of the ways that you can get involved with our sports program, you can become a registered volunteer with us at 14. You can be an assistant coach or a unified partner. Being a unified partner gives you that coach and volunteer opportunity where you actually get to play with the athletes. A good example of this is we have flag football that's coming up, and we have students that are on the team, and so they are coaches and unified partners, and that's how they earn their hours. And then our day of volunteer opportunities. So all of our sports conclude with a competition. And so that competition day, that's a great way to get involved. So you can become a day of volunteer. So ages 10 to 13, a parent or guardian does have to be present on the campus or facility that we're working with. But if you're 14 or over, your parent does not have to stay for the duration that you are volunteering, but there is a waiver either way. So if you're 10 to 14, 15, there's just a day of volunteer waiver, and then you can volunteer for that day. If you're 16 and older, if you are an expert in your sport, say you play a varsity sport, you can officiate for some of our games, and then joining our games management team. So you get leadership opportunities when you are a registered Class A volunteer with us. So I've had students that will lead or officiate basketball games, or they will lead and officiate some of our skills for flag football or golf. So if there is a sport you're really interested in, you get that opportunity as well. And then I will leave it open for some questions.
does it have to be a sport, or do you guys do stuff with like CrossFit and stuff like that?
Was that CrossFit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with our schools program, we actually work with community exercise professionals. So that's a great way to get involved as well. And we still do some virtual events with our community as well for our sports program. So that's definitely something, if you emailed us, we can definitely work with you for those hours to come from some virtual events.
I see there's a question in the chat that wants to know if the slideshow will be available. Are you able to share that link with, you can put it in the chat or we can send it later?
Oh, perfect. Yes, I will drop that in the chat.
And I see Ian from Basic wants to know if they can get the QR code again for the activation activity, but that's in the slideshow, so.
Yes.
And I see somebody raised their hand from Del Sol. If you just want to unmute.
Hi, I wanted to know if we could do it with kids in our school, or do we have to go to those events and interact with those kids?
Both. So if you're doing a community event, then it would be athletes across the valley. But for instance, our youth activation committee or some of our just student leaders at your school, you could definitely put together something and we would help you with that.
All right, thank you.
And did you share the link to that? I didn't see it in the.
I was going to make sure it was saved and then I
Oh,
would
okay. All right.
go ahead and drop it in. All right. Thank you so much.
There's another question in the chat. It said, can we sign up the school program? Oh, can we sign up for the school program on the website?
Yes, I can drop that link in there too.
All right. That is just looking at the questions, see if we got them all.
So I have a question. So would you ever consider going like anywhere out of Clark County?
So we do have programs in Mesquite and Pahrump and Moapa as well. So with our sports program, there are programs that you can work with in those areas. And there's one school in Pahrump, which I believe is the high school that participates as far as our schools program. So Nye County does have a community sports program.
Thank you.
Yes, as far as volunteer hours and promote with other clubs, you definitely can do that. Awesome.
All right, thank you so much for coming and presenting. I would like to now turn it over to our next presentation, which is the Garden Foundation.
I think, oh no, you're right. Sorry, I thought we had an attendance check, but you're right, Kaylin. I shouldn't.
Okay, are we ready? I'm just going to share my screen really quick. Okay, can we see that? Okay, cool. So the Garden Foundation is a local nonprofit that works with adults with disabilities. And so I'm going to kind of run through, just due to time, I'm not going to play this video, but it is on our website if you wanted to watch it. I'll kind of talk about what it says on there, but We are smaller by design, so a lot of organizations in the community that are built for adults with disabilities are very, very large, and we are pretty small. Our ratios are very small to where you're working one-on-one with someone up to 1-3. So we pride ourselves on being more than a daycare or a day program. People are here to learn and grow and build new skills. And so that goes right into what our mission is to enhance the lives of our clients by providing them a place to learn, grow, socialize, and become independent. And we really provide a warm and inclusive environment. So we serve anyone 18 and older, and we're very inclusive. So we have individuals that come to our program that are very independent, that are out in the workforce and are trying to live on their own and take the bus and all that kind of stuff. And we have individuals that need assistance using the restroom and feeding and you know, doing day-to-day tasks like that. And then every single person in between. So the program that probably would include the most amount of volunteer opportunity would be something called our GROW program. And what that is we do service projects ourselves actually. So the G in GROW program stands for giving back. So we actually do community service projects and we spread kindness and compassion to the community. As a nonprofit, we look for volunteer. We rely on the community a lot. And so we also like to give back. So a way that volunteers can get involved with TGF is becoming a volunteer themselves and partnering with us to either create a cool service project for us to go out and do, or coming with us and volunteering with us out in the community. The R is for recreation. So this is giving our clients the opportunity to learn, gain fulfillment, have fun. So this could be guitar lessons, Zumba, it could be sign language class, science, yoga, anything like that. And so our volunteers come in and take those classes with the clients. And so they're same age peers that are helping build social skills and initiating conversations and participating in the classes. And so as a volunteer in the GROW program, you would be involved in these classes and helping us facilitate that. The O is for occupation. This is all of our social skills and life skills. So we are a life enrichment program. So we are teaching the classes that people need to be independent in life. So we teach classes of, you know, how do you call out of work? How do you resolve a conflict with somebody? How do you make friends? We do cooking classes, money management, all of that kind of stuff. And so you could be a part of those classes and helping either work one-on-one with someone, or maybe you could have a small group and you're providing that hands-on assistance while they are finding purpose and learning new skills. And then the W is wellness. So this is friendship, which goes hand in hand with you guys volunteering, is they get to meet new people, they get to make friends. And we pride ourselves on giving them a place to have a well-rounded life. They're learning, you know, they're having fitness classes, they're learning new skills, and also just overall wellness of self-esteem and purpose and value. They're all getting at TGF. And so the only thing I'm going to kind of really go over on this slide is that we're a state provider. So that means we have certain regulations that we have to uphold because we work with the state. Our volunteers do have to be 18 and older, or you have to be accompanied by an adult. So whether that's a teacher, a supervisor, a parent, that is one very important regulation that we do have to follow. But volunteers can also get involved with different programs like our one-on-one outings. We take our clients out in the community. This girl down here is at Red Robin. One of her goals is to advocate for herself. So we took her to a restaurant. She had to order on her own. She had to pay on her own. She had to talk to the waitress on her own. And so you guys could also be involved in that and helping us facilitate those one-on-one outings. And then we also have a coffee shop downtown. I know I'm low on time. We have a coffee shop downtown called Dig It Coffee Co. that just opened up a year ago. We could potentially have some volunteer opportunities with that, still through the Garden Foundation, because Dig It is a different company. But they are a vocational training. They're the first of its kind down in the Arts District, where they're paying competitive wages to people with disabilities. And they serve really great coffee. So even if you can't volunteer with Dig It, you should still go down and get a cup of coffee because it's amazing down there. Okay, that was a lot. Does anyone have any questions?
You have plenty of time left.
Oh, okay. I was scared I saw the 5:38.
No, we started a little late. You still have like 5 minutes if you need
Okay,
to.
good. I will say that if you are interested in volunteering, you have to fill out a volunteer application form on our website. I can put the link in the chat when I'm done with this. But you just go to our website, you're going to hit programs and you're going to hit volunteer, and then you guys can fill out that application. And there's a few different ways to volunteer. So you could volunteer in the GROW program, which is Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 4:30. But we do ask for consistent volunteers. So our clients thrive on routine. So if you're going to come in just for one day, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So we ask for people to kind of commit to, every Friday for 2 months or something like that, to where our clients can have some routine. People coming in and out is very confusing. They get very attached to people and then you leave and they get very sad that you're gone. So that is a thing we look for. We also have special events that every October we founded World Inclusion Day, which is October 10th. And typically we will do some sort of event. And we're always looking for volunteers for that. In April, we have our annual golf tournament, and we're always looking for volunteers for that as well. So if you want just kind of a one-time thing, those events are more for you. I see that we have a few questions. Kylene, Perez?
Hi, it's Kylie Ann. Sorry. I was wondering if you guys work with housing as well.
Currently we do not. So we're just a day program for right now. So none of our clients stay or live at where our foundation is. And currently all of our clients are living in their family homes. So I had previously had some clients that lived in some group homes, but we personally, the Garden Foundation does not do anything with that one.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. With the Dig It Foundation, do you also have to be 18? So Dig It actually doesn't do any personal volunteering there. You would kind of be going with the Garden Foundation to Dig It. Just because Dig It is a whole separate, they're a company, they're a coffee shop. So they're not a nonprofit. They are a total for-profit business, but they're Garden Foundation's sister company. So if that's something that you really were interested in, you could go with me to Dig It to see what that is like. But it would still kind of be through the Garden Foundation, if that makes sense. Bradley, I see that you have your hand up.
Hi, I was wondering, I don't know if you said this, where is the Garden Foundation located?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're kind of on the north side of town. If you know the 95 and Ann, Centennial-ish area, Arborview, Shadow Ridge, that kind of area is where we're at.
Okay, thank you.
I'll put a link to the volunteer application and a link to the slides when I'm done speaking. What examples of what you do? What are examples of what you do for volunteering? Oh, examples of volunteering. So that could be coming into the GROW program, the Monday through Friday, but those have to be kind of consistent. So if you want to just come for one time only, that would be for our special events, which could be golf tournament in April, World Inclusion Day in October. Whenever we have special events or parties, we're always looking for volunteers. And then the other one would be kind of the one-on-one outings, that kind of stuff, if you're looking just to support individual people. But again, we kind of ask for consistent volunteers just because of the population that we're serving. Is there more information about the one-time volunteer work, like the golf tournament, on your website? So what you would do first, no matter what you want to do to volunteer, is you're going to fill out the volunteer application. There's actually a question on the application that says what you're looking for, and one of the options is special events. So you would just click that one if that's what you're interested in. If you're interested in the consistent grow program volunteer opportunity, you would click that. If you're interested in helping us with fundraising, you would click that option. So that would be the first step that you do, and then I'll kind of be reaching out to assist after you fill that out. Any other questions?
I do think we need to probably move on.
Perfect, no worries. I will put all those links in the chat.
I would say another thing, if you can share one of the things that might interest them, is there's a way they can donate. Are there things you need, like collecting socks or toiletries or anything like that? That would be a thing that they'd probably all be interested in too.
Yeah, so World Inclusion Day is one of our biggest fundraising events. And so typically we're doing like a big campaign fundraising group. So sometimes you could put together a team if you wanted to and fundraise for World Inclusion Day. And that could be kind of any way that you can obviously reach out to me for more information on specifics, but in the past, different companies or groups of people have put together fundraising teams to try and raise money for World Inclusion Day that's in October.
Excellent.
Perfect, thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for presenting. We're going to do a quick attendance check now, everybody. Miss Ginger, if you want to.
This one is going to be a spam the chat. And so if everyone, and so just so you know, all of the co-presenters will see it. You will not, but we will see it. So if you could spam the chat with just the school that you go to. And so this is an attendance check. So everybody just spam the chat with the school that you go to. And again, you can't see it, but we see it. Oh, it is going so fast I can hardly read it. Western, SECTA, Laughlin, West Tech, Sandy Valley, Faith Lutheran, another Laughlin, CSNHS, Durango, Northeast, yay, one of our new schools. I think that was Rancho El Valle, Durango, El Dorado, Pahrump, Canyon. Awesome. Lots and lots. All right. So I think we can keep that going on, and Kaylin, you can, and I think, did you get my message that the Make the Road was not able to make it? Okay.
All right, so our next presenter is unavailable, so we're going to go ahead and skip down to Vitalent. Is that how I pronounce that?
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I'm taking over for Janine McCoy. She left the company last week, but I'll be happy to make the presentation for Vitalent. I think it was at 5:50.
Yes, you can go ahead and begin now because who was before you is no longer available.
Okay, thank you. And sorry, I don't have a presentation. I was thrown into it this morning, but I'm very excited to be here. Oh, perfect. Yeah, 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, my name is Nancy. I'm here with Vitalent. We are a nonprofit organization as well, and we supply the hospitals with the blood that they are needing at the time to help patients in need. We partner with about 90% of high schools in Las Vegas, and with the other towns. Like we're having a blood drive in Pahrump actually on Friday. And high school students are our #1 donor group. We rely heavily on the kindness of high school students, and we always need help. What we mainly ask from high school students at high schools is to help us promote the blood drive. It's a leadership project. Like, one of us will guide you through the whole process, but it's mainly to market the event as much as possible, to make as many appointments as possible. And we provide all the marketing materials. We provide flyers. We'll guide you through it. We really try to make it fun. When you make it fun, we see that we get a lot more participants, and that's when students can really have a great input. We have schools that do themes, like, for example, they do a superhero theme or a lifesaver theme. There is a theme that is called, that I really like. Actually, the first time that I saw it was at Las Vegas Academy. I saw people from Las Vegas Academy here. They did a Your Type campaign, and we get hundreds and hundreds of donors every year thanks to our high school students. With each donor that you guys help us bring, we're able to save 3 lives. I think that's what you all should know. When we divide the components of the blood donation, we can help 3 different patients. We can help someone that just lost a lot of blood with the red blood cells. We can help a cancer patient with their plasma, and we can also help burning injury patient with platelets. Some people even have a very rare type of blood that is needed for newborn babies, and to me, it's just the best thing you can do for anyone. Blood is not something we can produce anywhere. It needs to come from donors, and that's why we rely on the student groups like you guys to help us promote the goodness of this project to your school and help us bring as many students as possible. We know it's not the most comfortable thing for people to do, and a lot of kids are like, oh, I don't like it, I'm scared. But with your help, it really helps to break that fear and to encourage donors to come over. As I said, we'll guide you through the whole process. And this semester, we actually have something very exciting, which is we have a scholarship program that we offer for you guys. So whoever is the lead of the blood drive committee will get a scholarship. The minimum amount of money is, the minimum we ask is for at least 30 donors that come to the blood drive. And it breaks down, the minimum amount of money that you can get is $250, and it goes up to $4,000. I'm sure, for example, that Coronado is the largest blood drive we have. I think they have like 4 or 5 blood drives per year. I'm sure if we have students here from Coronado, you heard about this massive blood drive. Pretty much every student there is comes to donate blood. And whoever is in charge of that student is gonna get a big amount of money for helping with this. If you are interested, the only thing is this scholarship money goes towards your college tuition. So whoever is in charge will let us know what college you were accepted to, and we will deposit the money at your college, at your account. That is just a plus, a little extra that we want to give to you for helping us bring donors and save lives. But the main thing, of course, is you help us save lives. You get community service hours, and we invite you to rely heavily on a team of students. One person will be the lead, but we also need marketing people. We need someone in charge of social media. We need someone that is in charge of facilities to help us make sure that the gym is available, that we have the chairs that we need, that the air conditioning is ready. It's a lot involved on the blood drive, but I truly think it's a fun event. I've been doing this for 15 years, and my biggest fear starting at this job was working with high school students, but I can tell you now it's my favorite part because it's really fun to work with students are kind and you guys want to do good, and we get a great participation from you all. The process of donation, in case you don't know, takes about 45 minutes. A lot of students donate because they want to help. Other students help because they want to get out of class for 45 minutes. But you go through a mini physical. We check your blood pressure, heart rate, and we ask a lot of questions about your health history. If everything's okay with that, you donate blood for about 3 to 5 minutes, depends on how hydrated the donor is. And at the end, we ask for you to stay having refreshments that we bring for everyone. We bring cookies and refreshments for all the donors. Sometimes we get donuts donated, which a lot of students love the donuts, and they come for the donut as well, which is fine. And that's the whole 45 minutes that you spend with us. The minimum age outside CCSD, so if we are having a blood drive in Paramp, as I said, you can start donating at 16. Sandy Valley, same thing. All the other the Boulder City, I don't think it's CCSD. But if you are a CCSD school, you can donate blood at 17, starting at 17 with parental permission. We provide a form that the parents need to sign and the students need to bring it on blood drive day. But if you are not CCSD, students can start donating at 16 years old. So again, that is a huge opportunity for the scholarship, and we love to see 16 and 17-year-olds. We have height and weight requirements for students that are between 16 and 22 years old. So that's just an extra requirement, but pretty much the rule is you have to be 110 pounds if you are outside that age range. For females, and males just have to be at least 110 pounds. But as I said, it's really a fun event. You save lives, you get some money, you get cookies, you get to skip a class, and it's really a fun event. Depending on the school, like as I said, Coronado I think has like 4 or 5 blood drives per year. Some other schools have 1 or 2. But if your school is not currently hosting blood drives and you may be interested, please contact us. We would love to partner with you. I can think of a couple that we're still trying to get in touch with, like Chaparral. We lost touch with Chaparral. If we don't have a group there, if you're in Chaparral, Bishop Gorman, Spring Valley High School. We have a couple of schools that we never work with, and we would love to work with you all if you are interested. So I'm gonna leave my email address on the chat in case you guys want to get a hold of me, but that's pretty much what a blood driving takes. And I want to open it for questions if you guys have any questions. Well, we work with Amplus Academy too. A lot of them, as I said, I think we work with like 90% of the high schools. I don't see. Questions. Am I looking at the right place?
Hi, so I donate with you guys actually, but I have lots of friends who want to help, but they are physically unable to donate. Is there a way they can help contribute to the talent?
Yeah, totally. We also have a volunteer program where we always need volunteers to help us. If it's not at your high school, we also need help at blood drives around the community. For example, we have a lot of drives at community libraries. We're having one for October 1. We are having one at the Golden Knights at the National Arena. And we always need volunteers to help us, especially with receiving the donors and guide them through the process. I can also, you guys can contact me for that and I'll be happy to do that. We have a volunteer program for the summer and the winter as well, where if you, let's say that you cannot donate yourself, but you want to put a blood drive together, and you invite your family and friends to go anywhere in the city and they donate blood through a link that we set up for you, you also get scholarship money. This program just ended for the summer, but again, I think we're bringing it back for December. Sorry, I'm big on the scholarships because college is so expensive that I think whatever you guys can do to help, it's good. But if you just want to help, we also have a volunteer program, people that are not able to donate blood.
What's like the specific like weight limit, like the most weight and like the least amount of weight you have to be to donate blood?
So it depends. It's about blood volume. They did, as I said, males it's just 110 pounds, and that's easy to to remember. But if you are a female, we have this chart, and according to your height, will tell you you need a minimum weight. For example, if I was 17, I'm 5'4", I would need to be 124 pounds to donate blood according to my height. So it depends on your height, what your weight would have to be. And that is in our website on vitalant.org. You can find that on eligibility. You can find the height and weight requirements. And as I say, that's just for students that are under 22. If once you turn 23, then it's 110 pounds for everyone. But yeah, for females, we do have that height and weight depending on how much your height is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also just got a question. Someone asked, is there a specific place to donate to, or do they just drive to a different school if their school is not hosting a blood drive, or like what would they do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have blood drives all over the city all the time. So the easiest thing to do would be go to vitalant.org, and then when you go to donate blood, you can put your zip code, and you can find any upcoming blood drive at any time within the city. We have 3 centers around town. We have one by the Galleria Mall. Our largest center is Rainbow and Charleston, and we have one on the north on Craig by the Canneries. But if you want to find just one around your zip code, you can just put it in there, and you can see all the upcoming drives around you that are open to the public at any time.
Thank you. I think that answered the question.
Yeah.
That's time.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for this invite. This was fun to talk to all the students. Thank you.
I see somebody asked for the website, and my computer's acting up, but I'm going to try to get it for you in the chat.
Yes, I was going to say, I just saw that same thing. Somebody asked for the website, but we will send that to you in the chat. And we'd like to turn it over to the Animal Foundation.
Hello, can everyone hear me and see my screen all right? Hello? Is my audio going through all right?
You're great.
Yeah, we can hear and see you.
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
You're all set.
Cool, thank you. Looks like my screen sharing's not working. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the Animal Foundation for a little bit. So the Animal Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3 here in Las Vegas. We are one of the largest single-site shelters in the United States. We're an open admission shelter. We take in every animal that comes in through our doors. Of course, through animal control also. And we kind of do all kinds of different things. Well, one of the big things that we do, of course, is adoptions and fostering, and also at kept. Kept is a big thing that we do here, which is keeping every person and pet together. Through either pet deposits, through when you're at an apartment and you need to get that, medical bill assistance for your pets. We help out with that. Also with pet food pantry. If somebody can't afford pet food, we always try to help out just getting them that pet food for free, though that is first come, first serve. With students, a lot of the times with volunteering, we like to do volunteer groups just because we find it easier. Just because it is 18 plus, but if you're 12 to 17, you are able to volunteer, but you do need to have parents or a parent or guardian, someone there with you, just so you can go ahead and volunteer and do everything that is needed there. You can always feel free to go to our website, animalfoundation.com, go into the volunteer tab, and that's where you get all that information there. And there's all kinds of different things that you can do as a volunteer, whether it's event support, making enrichment, a lot of laundry, or even if you know younger students who are like maybe elementary school age, reading to animals is a big thing that we do. You'd be surprised how much it actually brings the dogs and the cats out of the shell. just because it gets them used to being around humans and being around a human environment. Here, sorry, I'm
You should
looking at
be
my
able
notes.
to view your presentation now if you want to check again.
Here, let me see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So yeah, this is just an overview of everything that we do there at the foundation. Of course, 501c3, one of the largest single-site animal shelters in America. There's that. And this is the process of adopting. I know a lot of students here, but if your family is interested in adopting, feel free to go to our website, look at what animals we may have. Feel free to come to our campus. We can do meet and greets. You can meet with an adoption counselor and they'll help you get used to the animal and stuff. And there's that. Also becoming a foster, if your family is interested in fostering an animal, this is the process to become a foster. You fill out a foster application on our website, animalfoundation.com, right here, /volunteer/foster pet. And of course, email them at foster@animalfoundation.com if this is something that may interest you or your family. And then we do also have foster field trips. Again, this is usually for older volunteers, but if you're close to being 18, feel free to go ahead and do a foster field trip. This is great if you don't have time or space, especially with school and work. You can go ahead and take a dog just out for a hike at Red Rock Canyon or to a lunch or just back home. And it's really great for the dog. It helps us also get to know the dogs better for when they will be ready for adoption. And of course, our KEPT program, keeping every person and pet together, helping people with financial difficulties get through keeping a pet. There's just some dogs there. And then that's the website to volunteer. Again, if you're under 18, I mean, you do just need parent or guardian there with you. And if you're doing a volunteer group, we do a max of 15 people. This is some more requirements for volunteering. And other ways students can help out is with a pet food drive at school. That's a big way to help out with that. Just feel free to contact us. EESPINO@animalfoundation.com is my email, or outreach@animalfoundation.com is another email in case you do want to do a pet food drive at school or have us come out and maybe present what we do for the Animal Foundation and such. And then these are some animals that we have there. And yeah, I think that's everything that I have to share. Any questions? Okay, here we go. What does 501c3 stand for? To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. All I know, it basically just means that we're a nonprofit. Yeah, we're a nonprofit. We accept donations, we accept grants and such.
It means, when there's other nonprofits here, could correct me if I'm wrong, but that you are a nonprofit registered with the federal government and you have to file specific tax returns and meet certain fundraising and expenditure expectations from the government.
That sounds right. I know I know we have a lot of like our financial stuff on our website also, if anyone's ever interested in looking at that. If someone wants to donate things, what items would be helpful? Have to be new things like blankets? So always, as far as donations go, always pet food. That's a big thing, especially during kitten season, which we're in right now. Having cat food was a big deal for us, just getting cat food, getting dog food, always, especially for our KEPT program. Because our goal is just to keep as many pets out of the shelter. We don't want to have so many pets in the shelter. We want pets to be with their families, to be with people. So pet food is a big thing. linen, blankets, stuff like that. Always, we always accept donations. We get a lot of donations from the casinos as well, of like their towels, of their linen. So that's a big thing if you have like some blankets or linen stuff. Wool things aren't usually accepted as much just because a lot of animals get their claws stuck in that kind of material. Possible to volunteer as a group with our council? Absolutely. Always feel free to contact us at volunteer@animalfoundation.com, or feel free to contact me. I'll put my information in the chat here. And we can go ahead and get you guys a group volunteering thing. There just has to be an adult there if it is a group with under 18 people, as well as we only do a max of 15 per volunteer group. Where's the main location? Our main location is 655 North Mojave Road. That's a Bonanza Eastern area. I think the closest high school to us is Rancho High School, like that area, I'd say. Yeah, I believe it's Rancho. I might be wrong though. How do we get in touch to volunteer? So you can always feel free to go to our website. I'll put a link in the chat as well, or I'll also put the email for our volunteer team as well, for volunteer@animalfoundation.com. Where can I find out more about the adoption process? I can also send that link through the chat. Definitely feel free to go to our website. Just under adoptions, they'll have the pet search. That's usually just more for like age and size and type of animal, whether you're looking for a dog, cat, even a reptile. So going through the website first is usually the best, or you can always feel free to come over to our location and walk around, see the animals. Virtual drives as well, or is it just in person for I'm not sure if we've ever done a virtual drive, but that's something that we'd definitely be interested in doing if you see my information later. How would we go about doing a pet food drive? So I believe with pet food drives with schools, it's usually more on the schools to get that organized and stuff. We will help out any way we can, especially with the transportation and stuff. I'm usually the person who goes out and drives this stuff, so I'm usually open to going out to drive to other counties or other pretty far places to get some pet food and stuff. As far as what we do is group volunteerings, usually it's a lot of laundry, a lot of cleaning, a lot of making enrichment toys. Like if you know Kong and putting the peanut butter and the treats in the Kong toys, that's a big thing that we do. A lot of cleaning and laundry also, just because that's stuff that always needs to be done. There's a little less animal handling, just because with a group, you're not able to keep a lot of like the liability stuff consistent. So it's more cleaning, animal handling, laundry and stuff like that. Or not animal handling, animal enrichment making toys. That should be fine for volunteer groups that are accompanied by fighters. That should be fine as long as there's a guardian there to keep an eye on the group. Yep, you are able to donate toys and supplies, blankets, really anything that's pet related. Leashes are a big thing, collars are a big thing, and everything like that. Yep, exotic animals can be adopted, farm animals can be adopted. If they're here, they're most likely available to be adopted unless it's a wild animal, which is very rare that we get wild animals. To do a supply drive at school, do we need to ask permission to use your? I'm gonna have to check in with that. It should be fine. That's more of a marketing team thing for using permission for using our organization name. It's usually fine. I haven't seen anybody here get upset over anybody using our name for a pet food drive or something positive like that. But I can always double check. I'd always recommend contacting again. Do you accept any?
Oh, we're gonna have to stop you there.
Of course.
Thank you though. And if you want
Thank
to
you.
share the link for your PowerPoint in the chat, I'm sure that they would appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We are now going to turn it over to our last speaker before our closing remarks, which is Elise from Just Serve.
Hey, hello. Congratulations on all the service that you do. I wish there was a way to like quantify all the hours that all of you guys on this call are doing, all the good things. And I love to serve. I hope besides getting the hours of requirement, I hope you love it too. And I'm excited to share with you a tool to help you find meaningful service opportunities that are near you, that work for you in your time constraints, and something you enjoy doing and something that you have a passion for. So let me share. Let me share my screen here. And let's see, sorry. Okay, why? Why am I suddenly not seeing? Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Just Serve is an app. It is also a website, justserve.org. And we are not a nonprofit. What we do is connect you with nonprofits and opportunities to serve. It's really easy. Let's see. Yeah, I hate this. We tested and I'm doing something wrong. Okay. Well,
I think
all right, we'll just do it this way. Not as good, but it's fine. So it's easy. It's free for both you to volunteer and for organizations that need some help doing great things. We have almost 300 organizations right now here in Las Vegas that are on Just Serve, and about 200 service projects, again, right here in Las Vegas. There are so many great organizations in our valley. I've loved hearing from all of these organizations today, and I'm just always really impressed. People see a need and they fill the need. And we just are passionate about service and how much it does for us, how much it does for our community. And we want to try and connect people like you that want to serve with great service opportunities. So it's very easy to access. Just in your app store, that's the little icon. And it'll prompt you to make an account. It needs your email. And the only time that you would get an email is if you have signed up for a project and there's a reason for them to email you. There's not other emails that come, but you can search for projects without putting in your email and creating an account. You also can refine your search. So it's geocentric, and so wherever you are or whatever zip code you put in, it will show you what is closest to you. But you can also change it from 5 miles to 10 or 15 miles. And so however far you're willing to go, you can also search for specific things that you care about, like homelessness, environment, or refugees are examples, and which days or times work for you. And so you can do all these constructs and then search, and it will show you here's some specific refugee things that are near me. And so make sure that rather than just looking through all 300 projects, that you kind of, if you want to refine that search, you certainly can. And when you see a project that you're interested in, then you just click on it and you can learn more about it. And then at the bottom is the volunteer button, and you can sign up to volunteer. It's very, very easy. One of the fun things I think about Just Serve and just being involved in service are really all of the many opportunities. I really have loved hearing about all of these today. There are a lot of different opportunities, as the Animal Foundation talked about, working with pets, and also opportunities. Sometimes a service is to share clothes that you know that no longer fit you, or that you're no longer wearing. I know that one teen homeless organization shared that sometimes, like, guy jeans and graphic t-shirts, and for everybody, graphic t-shirts and also hoodies are just constantly in need, which you can imagine because we all kind of wear those a lot. Lots of outdoor cleanup or outdoor painting or things like that projects. There was one that I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. At a elderly center, they need a bingo caller to just come. The residents there love to play bingo, and you could volunteer and help call it and let them be excited about that. There are Helping Hands of Vegas Valley is another one that serves the elderly community. And they, as well as a lot of other organizations, are willing to set up for your own time. And say if your student council group wanted to come and serve, feel free to contact the organizations, because many of them are very willing to do something outside of the project listed and help to accommodate you to come. And Helping Hands of Vegas Valley was one that is really good at that. This United Way Day of Caring is coming up the end of this month. It's at Salvation Army, and there's just going to be a whole bunch of painting and cleaning and organizing and moving things from place to place. These are just a tiny sample. There are so many great, fun ways to serve. And so I hope that you'll download the app and find all kinds of great opportunities to get your service hours. But more importantly, I hope that you really develop a love for helping others, building a strong community, and just feeling the good that it does for ourselves when we share. Any questions? I'm not seeing the questions in the chat. So Ginger, if you can let me know if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm going to ask my officers to help with that, because right now my computer's doing all kinds of things and I'm not seeing them either. I do see one. Is the app strictly for Las Vegas, or do they have other towns like Pahrump? There are definitely projects in Pahrump. There are projects all over the United States, and that's why it's really fun that that you can search with your location. I have one son and his wife, and they travel all over the world, and they love to go on. And while they're traveling, they always feel like they like to find a project somewhere else, and spend a couple of hours serving in that place. And I think it's really fun. In fact, I really loved, somebody mentioned that your theme is Nevada Next Gen. And I really like that, because I feel like your generation really does have a passion for giving back to the community and being involved in the community. And I just applaud that and love that passion. And no, you don't have to be 18 to download the app. It's anybody can. It does work in certain other countries. They're moving it out all the time to more and more countries. And so yeah, some you can find, some not. Oh, a question about a remote project. Yes, there are remote projects that are things like they're gathering, they want donations, things like that you can help. When the problems in Maui, that was really the best way to do it, to donate to a reputable organization and let them purchase and do it on hand, not to gather things here and try and get them there. So that's a really good question. If JustServe is a profitable app, which it's not, but
does it make it from the nonprofits? Nobody pays to use Just Serve. Just Serve is actually built by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It isn't run by or have anything else to do with the church. They say it is a gift to the community, and it is open to every faith, there's no race or sexual orientation, anything like that for the projects, volunteers, anything. So I hope it'll be a great tool for you.
Right, we need to wrap it up there. We do have one more guest before we do our final address check. So Kaylin, I'll turn it to you.
All right, and I'd like to welcome Alex Bivey, who is an NASC alum. He served as the NASC state president and now works for Community and Schools.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me? Thumbs up. Cool. Well, hey, I know you've been on this Zoom for a while, but here's the deal. It's 6:30 where you are, and it's 9:30 p.m. where I am. So if I can bring the energy, then you all can bring the energy too. Is that a deal? Yeah? Okay, all right, I love it. So I'm really glad to be here tonight. Mrs. Ginger called me a couple of weeks ago and invited me to offer some remarks on the importance of service and how service has shown up in my own life and how it's helped shaped who I am and how I experience the world. And so it's my honor to be here with you to share more about service and its importance in all of our lives, to be better connected to ourselves and also better connected to each other. As kind of a fun fact, when I was NASC president in 2012, so a decade ago, I had 4 pillars to my platform when I ran for president. And one of them was civic engagement, right? Which is just kind of another way of saying service. And at that time, I worked with other NASC officers on the state board to organize what was one of the first regional service opportunities for all student councils in Southern Nevada, where we all came together at my alma mater, Bonanza High School. Go Bengals for any Bengals on the line. I know Ginger is one of them, so I see her giving me some Bengal love. And we hosted all the student councils in the gymnasium at Bonanza. We had keynote speakers. We made boo-boo bunnies. I don't know if y'all know what boo-boo bunnies are, but you take them to the children's hospital and they're really fun homemade stuffed animals that can bring joy and comfort to young folks that are struggling with different illnesses and diseases. So this is something that's been really important to me in my journey. I've got a few quotes that I want to walk through with y'all. I know I've only got a few minutes. And one of the first quotes that I'm going to share actually requires your participation. And it's not going to be a difficult thing to do, but it does require all of you to be engaged. And so I want to share with you all, how many of you have heard the word philanthropy? Anyone? All right. So philanthropy translates, if you take the Latin or Greek roots of that word, translates literally into the love of humanity, right? So it's our way of showing our love for ourselves and for each other. And I don't know about y'all, but when I read the news and when I look around, I feel like the world could use a little bit more love. And so I think that the theme of service and the theme of philanthropy is a really important one for us all to reflect on. So if y'all could do me a favor, go to your reactions, you know, in your Zoom, how you can go to your emoji reactions and you can select a heart. Go ahead and do that just to show your virtual love for service, for NASC, for philanthropy, and, you know, for helping each other out. This is a quote that I remember seeing when I was in college. And I really loved it because I feel like oftentimes one of the things that young people are told is they have to wait until they're 18 to have a formal voice in shaping our country or shaping our democracy. And certainly, right, we have to be at least 18 to vote in elections. But this quote reads, "Volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once or once every other or once every 4 years. But when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community that you want to live in. And a democracy is really shaped by all of the small and individual actions that each of us take to build community, right? This can look like the seemingly small acts of holding a door open for somebody, of checking in with someone who looks forlorn, of being gracious to the people in service industries and who are on the front lines of supporting our communities, like our teachers and our police officers and our firefighters, to the larger efforts, right? Like logging on to the Just Serve app and finding opportunities to volunteer and engage, or supporting animals or the vulnerable among us. So I know that oftentimes it feels like as young people, we have to wait until we're adults, or we're going to let other people take care of shaping our democracy. But just remember that when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community that you want to live in. And I think that that's really empowering, because that means that you're a force for love, a force for good, a force for connection in the world. And all of us need to do our part in being the change that we want to see. I also really love this quote, and this is from Alice Walker. And it's, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any." Right? And one of the most important things, I think, in student leadership is not exercising our power, right? The formal power that we might have by being elected to a student body office and therefore having budget and resources to make decisions that influence or affect other students' experiences. But I think one of the most important pieces of power and responsibility we have is helping other people get in touch with their own power, right? Reminding them that the most common way for them to give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And so service, I think, is really about ensuring that the folks that you're intending to serve feel that your intention comes from a pure, a good, and a loving place. Which really transitions me to my next quote. And this is actually a quote that I heard at the Western Leaders Summit years ago from a fellow camp counselor who read this full article during one of his late night talks before we closed out for the evening. And I'm going to read it out loud to all of you. So there are sort of 3 different ways of seeing life: helping, fixing, and serving. When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. And when you serve, you see life as whole. Fixing and helping may be the work of the ego, and service the work of the soul. And so when we go back to the last quote, right, and helping other people get in touch with their power, I think that service is really about us building solidarity, right? Us feeling connected to our communities, not, oh, here I am, the capable student leader with all the answers and all the resources, and I'm going to come help these folks who really need it, and I'm going to leave feeling better about myself because my life circumstances are better than the people or the communities that I'm serving. It's linking arms with those folks and understanding that service is about recognizing and seeing their struggle and bearing witness to that and helping to bring whatever resources you can to bear to help alleviate that suffering. Whether that's simply having a conversation, whether it's raising funds to help implement a project that's going to make a community more beautiful or bring more resources or projects or opportunities. And so these these 4 quotes are ones that have been really formative in shaping my own service journey. And since I didn't have a ton of time to talk with you all tonight, I thought that I would just reflect back 4 quotes that I've collected over the years that have helped shape my own understanding of service and its importance in shaping our communities, shaping our democracy, shaping our own senses of self, and shaping a more just, a more prosperous, a more connected, and a more loving world. So I encourage all of you to continue to serve, to check in with yourselves and be mindful of your intentions when serving, and to remember that there are 3 different ways of seeing life, right? And that's helping, fixing, and serving. And my hope and wish for all of you is that as you approach this work, you do it with a service lens and a service heart. So thanks for having me tonight. I think that that's time, right, Ginger? Yep. Okay. So round of applause to all of you. If I could get one more round of hearts on the reactions. Remember, philanthropy is love of humanity. The world needs a lot more of it today. And so just by logging onto this Zoom, you are helping make that true. And I'm so glad to return to my NASC home that I share with you. And I hope that 10 years from now, you're giving this talk to 200 plus high school seniors about how service has shaped your own life. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming. And thank you to everybody who presented. If anybody has any questions for any of the organizations that are still here, you can go ahead and drop those in the chat or unmute, and I'm sure they would be happy to respond to those. And the attendance form will be dropped in the chat. So just make sure you fill that out so that your attendance is counted.
Before we end the Zoom meeting, do you think we could send all the slideshows in the most recent messages?
I have been collecting them and putting them in a file that Kaylin and I have. So I don't have, once I get the animal one out of the chat and the Just Serve one, I'll just email them to everybody who checks in. Unless someone else can go back through all of them and find them and repost them. Or if you are still here as a presenter and you want to add them, that would be great. But so it said if the ones, I'll get the ones from Animal Foundation and from Just Serve. And I don't have Nevada Partnership either. So I will contact all the presenters and get all the ones I don't have and send them to everybody. Or Kaylin will.
Yeah, I'll send them to you guys. I'll make sure you guys get all of the presentation slideshows. I'll send the handout one more time, and I will send the emails and websites for everybody that was here.
And once we have the link to the YouTube video, we will share that with everybody also, so that you can share this with your council.